is Brad Klinge from Everyday Paranormal and Ghost Lab.
How you doing?
Yeah, thanks for making it over to us. We've
been
really busy.
I mean, yeah, pulled in every direction today.
Yeah, so. Exactly. I've been watching him go this way and that way, and but he held out for us and came over to speak to us real quick. And just to let you know a little bit, I told you a little bit about our show. This is Saturday Night Paranormal. It's kind of a special daytime edition on the People's TV Network. And for those of you who don't know Brad, like I said before, he's with Everyday Paranormal and the TV show Ghost Lab. You want to tell us a little bit about the show? And
Ghost Lab is a new show on Discovery Channel. Our season 1 was from October to December. That's when it aired. So our premiere date was October 6th. It ended right after Christmas. That was 13 episodes, and currently it's in marathon and rerun status until a lot of stuff worked out about season 2, and some announcements will be made about season 2 here coming shortly from the Discovery Channel. So if you look at discovery.com, you should have more information on that.
Of course, you'll have a really nice ride to each investigation, which is actually your Ghost Lab.
Yeah, you don't actually ride in it.
You don't ride in it, but it is a nice ride.
Yeah, you pull it along behind you.
I read that's a 24-foot car hauler that's been converted.
24-foot car hauler trailer. Basically, it's like those stock cars. What they haul stock cars in.
Right.
It's one of those, but we gutted it, wired it for everything that we have, all of our surveillance, all of our TV. All of our, we do real-time analysis. So, satellite feeds, internet feeds, wireless. We have routers and servers that everything just pops back and forth. So we can review evidence as it happens and as we're investigating. So everything is just rolling. That lab helps us a lot because it's a nice spot outside of the investigation to keep everything, so you have the environment is sterile and you keep everything outside. Plus, it's everything in one place. We pull up to a location, plug and play, you're done.
Right. Now, does it help you when you're able to, go over, especially like audio, on the spot, and you catch EVPs or something? Does that help you determine hot spots and easier to go into?
It does.
Focus
EVP is one example, but anything like a photograph or video, if we've found that if paranormal activity is happening, it happens for a very short period of time, and it generally happens in the same area. If something happens, it's just like fishing. It's always compared to. If you find a spot and you catch something, hit it for as much as you can to see if you can get more fish out of the pond. And if not, then you move on to different areas. So this real-time analysis helps us if, let's say, we catch a voice and it says something. We know to go immediately back over there and maybe try to provoke, try to do some, ask more questions, maybe some more specific questions, depending on what the EVP was. It's just a technique, it's the lab and all the tools in it is just one more. It's one of our other investigators.
Right.
It's the Ghost Lab.
Right. Exactly. So you and your team appear at times to be a little more aggressive in your approach than some teams may be. Right. And what's your view on that, especially with provocation and? How do you choose when you're going to take that approach?
Provoking is such a broad term, and unfortunately, it's become. If you say provoking, it's always being loud and mean. Provoking could be anything. It's just trying to get a reaction. Well, in the case with me, I have a loud voice as it is anyway. So me talking loudly might sound like I'm being mean, but really not. But there are times where I am kind of a jerk, and what you have to look at is if the spirit was a jerk in life, it might be a jerk in death.
Right.
And for example, John Wilkes Booth, presidential assassination, possibly a conspiracy. Maybe he's trying to confess. Get out there and just make the guy feel like dirt and try to get some sort of reaction. And we got one of the best reactions that you could ever. I mean, yes, I'm John. I don't know if you've seen the episode. But yes, I'm John Wilkes Booth out of the Granbury Opera House.
Right.
And, we could not have asked for anything better. And we have to attribute it. When we walked in, we always look at a place and figure out who are we going after, what's our technique going to be. And walking into that place, our technique was provoking, heavy provoking. And so that's what we stuck with that time. Now, I'm not going to walk into someone's grandma's house and start calling her out, So it does depend on the situation.
Okay. So is it something that you would not do as much at a client's home? more as, more of a historic location or business or that type of
yeah,
thing?
probably. Like for example, you wouldn't go into a place like I don't know, an example. I guess a home would be an example. If they're not sure what's in there, you kind of don't want to rile something up, maybe, or do whatever, or just make maybe the homeowner feel uncomfortable. It really depends on the situation, and we do use it sparingly. But what you see on the episode is Alcatraz, where something like that would be effective. Granbury Opera House, or something like that, be effective. So you maybe see a little bit more of it. Plus, I don't know if you caught my speech or not, but over 100 hours of video is shot for one location, which ends up being like a 21-minute segment on an hour show. So what you might catch is just a little bits and pieces, and they might get more provocation than they do everything else. But we do everything at an investigation and just see what works. I don't know why provoking seems to work, for me, but we've noticed that, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, you go with it then, right? Yeah, I mean, y'all have some incredibly sophisticated equipment. How did you acquire all of this equipment? Did it take several years and just a build up?
It did. I started Everyday Paranormal in 2007, and one of our initial things, that was after like 20 years of research and stuff like that. Had a bunch of friends that I knew that had common interest, and we got together and we formed this, and everybody pitched in financially to get, and we started off with audio recorders and IR cameras like this one, and a simple DVR system, and it just grew and grew. And then the idea came for the real-time analysis, the lab. We actually had a mini version of the Ghost Lab for a long time. That was kind of our idea, and it grew from there. But what you see on the show right now, over 90% of that equipment is what we brought into it initially. A lot of the other stuff is like our laser digital imager. It's not ours. It's a piece of equipment that we will get from a company that provides that. Use it in the application, almost like rent it. It's like when that ground penetrating radar. We're not going to need ground penetrating radar for 95% of the investigation. So why buy one when you can get them when you need it? It's kind of like, why would you buy a solder for your yard? How often do you use it? But those types of things, Discovery Channel obviously, helps us with. It's a part of, the show, the budget and all that kind of stuff. So, most of that equipment was ours to begin with, and it was just over time accumulating it. And it costs a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
It costs a lot of money, and it's a lot of personal sacrifice, and everybody that you see on the team, on the show, has always been on the team. So those people are the ones that kind of contributed to the whole. Right.
We have a member of the audience asking, did you ever have experiences as a child?
When I was little, first of all, I can remember reading the ghost books and stuff, checking them out and looking at the pictures of the Brown Lady at Raynham Hall and all that kind of stuff. I had very subtle experiences. I can remember, possibly seeing my grandmother, just little things that you really don't think of, and I kind of blew off even as a kid. It was when I was 17 years old where I had like the major experience in Gettysburg that just, from one moment to the next, basically changed my life. Kicked me down the path that this is what you're going to do. So as a child, yes, I mean, I can look back and say there were some weird occurrences, but I can't, the one moment is as 17. So is that a kid? I guess now I'm 36, 17 would be a kid. But that's when.
Yeah. I know.